There is a message vibrating through the thin, shivering veil of reality right now, and you need to hear this because the energy surrounding your person has shifted into something urgent, something desperate, something that looks and feels like raw, unadulterated panic. They are feeling at this very second a terrifying sensation of you slipping through their fingers like cool water, like fine sand, like a precious treasure they never truly believed they could lose. For a long time, their ego told them a dangerous lie. It told them you were a constant, an immovable object, always there, always waiting, always holding a sacred space for the eventually that they were too afraid to choose. But you changed. Something deep and fundamental within your spirit has been dismantled and reconstructed. They can sense it across the miles, across the silence, and through the energetic cord that still vibrates between your two hearts, even when the words have stopped and the contact has turned into a cold, haunting absence. Your energy no longer reaches toward them with that same intensity, that same thirsty longing, or that same desperate hope that used to define every thought you sent in their direction. This is not your imagination making up stories to soothe your heart. This is the collective soul of the universe speaking to you through signs and a sudden, crushing heaviness when their name crosses your mind. They are thinking of you constantly, now obsessively, with a franticness that borders on true terror, because for the first time, they understand that they might lose you forever. Not the kind of losing where you still miss them in the dark, where you still check their name on a screen, or where you still leave the door cracked just enough for them to crawl back. This is the permanent kind of losing, the kind where you actually move on and find a deep, beautiful peace without them. If this resonates deep within your spirit right now, type "I feel this" in the comments, because your acknowledgement acts as a key that activates the manifestation already in motion. This return is already being prepared in the unseen places, where soul contracts are written and rewritten according to our growth and our choices. You stopped chasing, and that single shift created a massive earthquake in their heart that they cannot ignore. No matter how hard they try to wear a mask of indifference or pretend they have moved on to better things. The very second you withdrew your energy, the moment you stopped initiating contact, the moment you stopped checking their life with that familiar ache, something in the energetic fabric between you tore open, and they felt it like a physical wound. Your silence is louder than your words ever were. It is more powerful than your confessions of love, and more devastating than your tears. Silence from someone who always had something to say carries a weight that cannot be explained away. They built their entire emotional world around the assumption that you would stay the same. They relied on your availability and your willingness to wait while they explored other options and played with their fears. You were the safety net beneath their act of avoidance, the guaranteed soft place they could return to when the world was harsh or when other connections proved to be shallow. But safety nets lose their value when they disappear. When the person who wove that net finally realizes they deserve more than being someone's backup plan or emotional insurance policy, the shift is life-altering. If you have finally decided to choose yourself over the waiting, type "I chose myself" in the comments to anchor this new energy. The energetic change that happened when you chose yourself was not small. It registered in their nervous system like an alarm they cannot turn off. It is a warning that the most important thing they never valued is about to be gone for good. They might not have the words to describe what they are feeling, but their shadow self knows exactly what is happening. Carl Jung spoke about the shadow as the place where we hide everything we refuse to see about ourselves. All our denials, all our failures to love correctly when love was standing right in front of us. Your transformation from someone who needed them to someone who is learning to be whole without them has shattered their illusion of control. They thought you would always be there in the wings, waiting for them to be ready. They never questioned it. They never considered that your patience had limits or that your heart had boundaries. You were the constant they took for granted, the sure thing they could ignore while they chased uncertainty. But constants change when they are neglected for too long. The shock they are feeling now is the shock of looking away for what they thought was a second and looking back to find that years have passed, the seasons have changed, And the person who used to look at them with pure adoration now looks past them. We never truly value what we have until it is in danger of being lost. Your absence has become their abyss. It is a dark mirror, forcing them to confront everything they failed to see when you are offering love without conditions and commitment without hesitation. They are replaying every moment now with new eyes. They are seeing for the first time how you showed up when others walked away. They're seeing how you stayed when staying required incredible strength. They're seeing how you loved them even when they made themselves impossible to love. The memories that used to seem ordinary are now glowing with meaning because they can see what their fear kept hidden. Every text you sent that they answered with one word, every effort you made that they dismissed as too much, it all haunts them now. This realization is not gentle. It hits like a collision. It is an awakening that burns. It is the sudden, cold understanding that the best thing that ever happened to them is walking away, and they have no one to blame but their own inability to recognize love when it was free. If you are starting to see your own worth clearly for the first time, type soul connection in the comments to let the universe know you are ready for a love that matches your value. Their thoughts circle back to you constantly now, with a focus that feels like a compulsion. It is a relentless replay of scenes where they could have chosen differently, could have loved better, or could have seen what was right in front of them. They wake up with your name on their mind, and sleep fails them because closing their eyes only makes the images of you finding joy without them more vivid. Every song carries your energy. Every street holds a memory. Every quiet moment is filled with the echo of what you shared and what they destroyed through neglect and the arrogant belief that love could survive forever on breadcrumbs. They compare everyone they meet to you, and everyone falls short. No one else sees them the way you saw them. No one else holds space for their messy parts with such grace. No one else makes them feel both challenged and accepted. The dates they try to go on feel like a bad play they never wanted to be in. Conversations with others are hollow and lack the depth they found so easily with you. Every new connection is just a cheap copy of something that was deeply authentic, and that original was you. No one feels like you, and this truth is becoming unbearable. Subscribe to this channel for more spiritual guidance and transmissions that will help you navigate the complex journey of your own heart and the soul-level connections that define your growth. They thought replacing you would be easy. They thought someone new would help them forget. They thought time and distance would make you smaller. But the opposite happened. Your importance has only grown in your absence. The illusion they were living under, the one that kept them from seeing your value, has shattered. What remains is the raw recognition that they lost something irreplaceable because they were too afraid or too proud to hold it. Where your energy once filled them and gave them a sense of being seen, now there is only a hollow vacuum. It pulls at their center and creates an emptiness that nothing else can satisfy. This is the mirror effect. Certain souls reflect back to us parts of ourselves that no one else can reach, and when that mirror is gone, we are left staring at our own darkness. They are trying to fill that void with anything they can find: work, social noise, new people. But it all rings hollow. You weren't just filling a hole, you were creating a whole new energy that only existed between the two of you. A resonance that cannot be remade because it was born of your specific souls meeting at a specific time. The spiritual rule here is old and strict. When you remove yourself from an energetic dynamic, you take your entire world with you. What is left is a gap that the other person only realizes is valuable once it's gone. They thought they could return to you whenever they chose. They thought the connection would wait forever. But soul contracts don't work on human schedules. Divine timing cares more about your growth than their comfort. If fear wasn't stopping them, if pride wasn't whispering its poison, they would say everything. They would admit they were wrong. Wrong about needing space, wrong about thinking there was something better out there, Wrong about thinking love could wait while they figured out if they were brave enough to claim it. They would tell you they are sorry for making you feel like you were asking for too much when you were only asking for the bare minimum. They would confess that they have tried to function without you and realize that all their coping mechanisms have failed because you were never just an option. You were the person who made them. Believe they were capable of being loved. If you feel the truth of this message in your bones, type divine timing in the comments. They want to beg you to come back, but they hesitate. Vulnerability feels like a kind of death to the ego. Their shadow still whispers that reaching out might end in rejection. They are at war with themselves. They are torn between the pride that says reaching out is losing and the love that knows you are the most important person they've ever known. They are caught in that painful space between wanting to return and being terrified that you will treat them with the same coldness they once showed you. This internal battle is eating them alive. It creates anxiety and sleeplessness. Pride tells them they should wait for you to come back, but love reminds them that dignity means nothing if they are alone. Carl Jung knew this battleground well. He wrote about the necessary destruction of the ego before we can become whole. Your person is being pushed toward that destruction, toward the breaking of every wall and every story that has kept them from you. The process is breaking them open in ways they never expected. Watch for the signs that the dam is about to break. They are watching you from the shadows of social media with an intensity that borders on surveillance. They are scrolling through your life looking for proof of whether you are moving on or if there is still a chance. They want you to notice that they are noticing. The energetic signs are just as clear. You think of them suddenly. Their name pops into your head like a whisper. You feel their energy pressing against you at random times, as if they are concentrating on you so hard that the thoughts are crossing the veil. Synchronicities are everywhere. Their favorite song, their name spoken by a stranger, the repeating numbers that tell you the universe is working on something. They might be leaving little breadcrumbs, liking an old photo, showing up in places you go, trying to see if the water is warm enough to jump in. These are the actions of someone building up the courage to speak. Share this transmission with someone who needs to know that their silence was not a failure, but a powerful catalyst for change. You hold the power now. This isn't about being better than them. It's the simple truth of what happens when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself. The power you have is the power to decide what happens next. You get to decide if they deserve another chance to love you correctly, or if your healing requires them to stay in the past. You get to choose based on what helps you grow, not what fixes your loneliness. You do not owe them your waiting. You do not owe them your forgiveness just because they finally realized they were wrong. You do not have to forget the moments they made you feel small. Your peace is the only thing that matters. The paradox is that you have already won. You won when you stopped making them the sun and put yourself back in the center of your universe. You won when you decided that your worth isn't a question for them to answer. Their return is just the universe giving you a choice. Their absence is the universe protecting you. Either they will come back with honesty replacing their fear, or you will close the door from a place of peace. Both are victories. Type signal received to let the universe know you're standing in your truth. The truth is that you were never asking for too much. You asked for honesty, presence, and a partner who would choose you in the storm as much as the sunshine. Those are the basics. The fact that they are realizing your value late doesn't mean you owe them a seat at your table. You already did the hard work. You were a masterpiece even on the days they couldn't see it. You were invaluable even when they weren't choosing you. Their panic doesn't set your timeline. You are not here to save them from the consequences of their own choices. You are here to honor the life you built through the fire. If they reach out, your body will tell you what to do. You will feel if their words are true. You will know the difference between someone who is scared of being alone and someone who is finally ready to love you. You can love someone deeply and still keep your door locked if that's what your peace requires. That isn't being mean, it's being whole. You are no longer sitting in the waiting room of your own life. You are a complete world. You are no longer performing for validation. You are whole because you learned how to heal yourself through the silence they left you in. That is a kind of magic that most people never find. You were never wrong for the depth of your love or the patience of your staying, and you were definitely not wrong for the courage it took to leave. Your person is wandering through a forest of their own making. They feel a restless void they can't name. They lie awake, wondering if you are happier, if someone else makes you laugh, if you still keep the memories they are terrified to lose. That thought is a knot in their chest. They are looking at old messages and feeling the sting of every question they ignored. Every sign from the universe is a nudge, a cosmic push toward the truth, but the universe won't hold the door open forever. Eventually, it leaves the choice to them. Their internal war is reaching its peak. Their heart wants you. Their fear wants safety. Their ego wants to stay quiet. But the soul is starting to win. The walls they built are fracturing from the inside. You cannot build a wall thick enough to kill a real soul connection. You can try to stack the bricks of denial, but real love seeps through the cracks until the whole thing falls down. When they finally spill over, it might be a messy text or a quiet phone call where their voice shakes. But when that happens, remember, you are the one who decides. Your heart is sovereign. No one gets to trade your peace for their moment of truth unless you say so. You have built a life that doesn't depend on them. You wake up and you keep moving. You are not a broken vessel. You are a masterpiece of your own making. You stayed until you were empty, and then you refilled yourself with self-love. That is the bravest thing any human can do. Type, "I am whole," to confirm that you no longer need anyone else to complete you. The universe is aligning you with what you actually deserve, and you deserve so much more than potential that never becomes real. You deserve more than a love that asks you to be smaller so someone else can feel big. You deserve a love that meets you in your fullness. Whether that love is this person finally being transformed or someone new who doesn't need to lose you to value you, it is coming. It is coming because you did the work. You are ready to receive it and claim it without saying sorry. Your path is lit up now. You don't need to know if they will come back to be happy. You are whole and purposeful right now. The manifestation is moving. The collision is coming. But the outcome belongs to your choice and the universe's wisdom. You are the author of this next chapter, and for the first time, you are writing it for yourself. Stay grounded in that truth. Let the panic of others stay with them while you keep your peace. You have graduated from the lessons of the past. The future is waiting for the version of you that doesn't look back. You have walked through the fire and come out glowing. Trust the timing. Trust the silence. Trust yourself. The veil is thin, the message is clear, and the power is and has always been yours. Imagine their face in the moment the silence finally breaks their resolve. It's a moment of pure, agonizing clarity, where every lie they told themselves falls away like dead leaves. They see the reality of what they threw away, not just a person, but a soul who saw them in a way they will never be seen again. They are searching for the warmth you gave in a world that suddenly feels 10 degrees colder. Every room they enter feels empty because your laughter isn't there to fill it. Every accomplishment feels hollow because you aren't the first person they call to share it. They are realizing that their freedom was actually just a slow-motion exile from the only home they ever really had. And now they are desperately trying to find the way back. But the map has changed because you are no longer the destination you used to be. You have become a vast, open ocean. And they are standing on the shore, realizing they never learned how to swim in waters this deep. If you are ready for a love that doesn't make you feel like an option, type signal received and let your light shine brighter than ever before.